What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jojo Brand Brooks. You can follow me on Facebook at Jojo Brand Brooks. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jojo Brand Brooks. Real quick, I just want to share a thought on something. The whole Eric Gardner case that took place up in what 2014. A lot of people are so foolish and ignorant. I have eyes, and I know what I see, and I know what millions of people see. We know what we see. I don't care what anybody else say. I seen the cop. I seen the man grab this man and choke him to death. I seen that with my own two eyes. Now people want to say, "Oh, Eric Garner died to poor health conditions." He had poor health conditions. Let's look at the evidence and let's go by facts. The state medical examiner, the New York State Medical Examiner, said that he died due to strangulation. They said they ruled his death as a homicide, and they did say that um, asthma. They said his asthma contributed to um, part of his death. They said that him being asthmatic um, triggered, which was triggered during being strangled, which caused his death. They ruled it. That's why they ruled it a homicide, and people are mislooking that on purpose. People are not looking at that. They said that him being choked to death triggered his asthma, and that's what caused his death. So people want to say, "Oh, he died because of poor health conditions," but you're not looking at the facts. If he wasn't, and this is what they're going by in court. This is the argument they're going by in court. They're going to say that this is what they're going to ask their medical examiner. If he was never choked to death, would he still be alive? And the medical examiner can't lie. The medical examiner is going to say that if he wasn't choked to death, he would be alive. And people, you cannot argue with that. You see what I'm saying? People are so silly. People are so foolish and silly because I know what I seen. I seen the cop choke the man to death. That's why they ruled it a homicide. They ruled it a homicide because him being strangled triggered his asthmatic. Um, I'm not a fucking doctor. I can't really explain it in depth the way a doctor can, but him being choked to death caused him to die. That's why they ruled it a homicide, and that's what they're not looking at because they ruled it. The medical examiner, autopsy report, we ruled it a homicide. It was a homicide. No matter what, it's not even my opinion or what anybody else say. You can have a humble opinion all you want. You can say, "Oh, he died because of poor health issues." No, the evidence and the facts is he was strangled to death. Him being asthmatic contributed to his death. Facts. So, like I said, what they're going to say in court is that if he was never choked to death, would he even had not died? And we all know the obvious reason to that. That's something that's obvious. So, Daniel Patalio did kill him. He didn't just die from complications of having health issues prior to the police. The man was alive and kicking before the police came. And all of a sudden, the police roll up and put him in that chokehold. That's what contributed to his death. I've seen it with my eyes. We all seen it with our eyes. That's why the medical examiner ruled it a homicide. And you cannot look past that. You can't pick and choose what you want. You can have an opinion all you want. But we're going by what the evidence say. We're going by what the facts say. The facts say he was strangled to death. His health complications contribute to his death. So if the man would never choked him to death, he probably never had died. So he caused his death, and even the state knew that. That's why the state tried to give his family some type of money. They tried to give him they tried to give his man, I think it was like $6 million. The city tried to give him because the city knew that they were in the wrong. He choked him to death. We all seen it. I don't give a fuck what you say. I seen it with my own eyes. And then you people just want to know the evidence. You want to pick and choose what you want to be true, and you can't do that. It is what it is. Just accept it that the cop killed him. Why is it so hard to accept that the fact that the cop killed him? We all seen it on tape. We all seen it on tape. Like I said, the facts still remain. No matter how you try to shine it up and put it to the side, his death was ruled a homicide, and that type of report has not changed since 2014 all the way to now 2019. The report still says the same. His death was ruled a homicide due to being choked to death. Him being asthmatic, that triggered um, him to have complications to breathe. The cop choked him. That's what caused him to die. He didn't just start choking on his own. But people don't want to believe that. People are ignorant, and white people have this thing, like I say, with me and my brother Tyreek, now she say, they have this thing where they just, they go by what they say, you know? You see what I'm saying? They just go by what the fuck they want to say. And that's complete bullshit. You know, they go by the I'm white and I say so rule. Because that's really what this all that is. Them saying that him dying from poor health conditions, that's just I'm white and I say so. Eric Gardner died because he had poor health conditions. I'm white and I say so, and that's how he died. That's their argument. I'm white and I'm white and I say so, and that's how he died. That's the standoff. That's what all the people want to believe. The I'm white and I say so rule. But then the state medical examiner ruled it a homicide. So if you want to comment, you can comment, follow on Facebook, Georgia Brooks, my YouTube channel, Georgia Brooks, I'm out.